Today I'm going to show you how to make a chicken salad using poached chicken. For this recipe I used 1 pound of chicken breast that is boneless and skinless. So let me tell you what my poaching liquid or my court bouillon, which means the short broth, consists of. I have 1 cup of chicken stock. You can substitute water if you want to. 1 slice of lemon, 1 slice of orange, 1 sprig of thyme, 1 slice of onion, 1 clove of garlic, 1 small stem of parsley, a teaspoon of salt, and about 6 to 8 peppercorns. I also have a small pan with a piece of parchment paper as well as a lid. So let's get to poaching this chicken breast. For this dish I chose to do a shallow poach. A shallow poach consists of the poaching liquid going halfway up the sides of the item, and the temperature should be about 160 to 180 degrees. So I'm going to take my pan, I'm going to lay my chicken breast right in the bottom. I'm going to add all of my aromatics, my thyme, my parsley, my slices of onion, my garlic clove, my pieces of lemon and my orange, as well as my salt and my black peppercorns. I'm going to add my chicken stock, making sure that it goes halfway up the sides of the chicken. And now I'm going to cover it with parchment paper. The parchment paper is going to help keep all of the flavor and moisture close to the chicken breast instead of escaping out of the sides of the pan. Once I finish cutting the parchment paper, and it doesn't have to be exact, I'm going to bring it to the stove to start the cooking process. Poaching allows the protein in the food to cook without losing any moisture and becoming really tough. So poaching requires you to bring it up to a simmer, about 160 to 180 degrees. Lower that temperature, keep it consistent so that it doesn't boil. Boiling could cause it to be tough. This chicken, when it is finished, after about 10 minutes, cook with the cover on and when the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees. The end product will be moist and tender chicken instead of dry and rubbery chicken if you were to boil it. Next, let's prepare the rest of our mise en place while our chicken is cooking. I'm going to reconstitute or rehydrate my dried cranberries with my orange juice, about 1 tablespoon of orange juice. I had fresh oranges, so I just squeezed those. If you have already prepared orange juice, that is fine as well. Next, I'm going to cut my celery. I'm going to trim it, then I'm going to cut it into manageable pieces. I'm going to cut them into sticks, and then I'm going to group them all together, making it nice and even, and cut them into a very small dice. Next up are my scallions. I'm going to cut some nice thin slices of scallion. I like to use both the white and green part of the scallion. If you want to save some of the green part to garnish later on the top of your salad, you can, but I like to mix everything in. So nice and thin slices so that it is easier to mix into your salad. You don't want anything to be in big chunks because you want all of these aromatics to be evenly dispersed throughout the salad, and you don't want one to overpower the other. Next up, we're going to mince our onion. I'm going to small dice this onion. I'm going to do my horizontal cuts. Remember, I'm cutting towards the root end. Then I'm going to do my vertical cuts, right, making sure that I don't cut all the way through to the root end. And then finally, my cross cuts from front to back of the onion. Again, I want to make sure that my ingredients, my aromatics, are in nice small pieces so they mix well into my chicken salad. Now I'm going to mince my parsley. I like to pick the parsley leaves off of their stems. In the salad, you don't want to have any stems because they could be a little bit tough. I'm going to bunch them together. I'm going to cut them into thin slices and then go back and mince them using the rocking motion. My guiding hand is holding the tip of the knife in place as I pivot the knife back and forth. And my last ingredient is my thyme. Thyme usually comes on like a very thin stick. So you want to take the small leaves off of that little stick and you do that by pulling them in the opposite direction of the way that they grow. So after you pull all of the little leaves off, you're just going to mince them just like we mince the parsley. Now let's check on our chicken. So I actually turned the chicken off because it was simmering too high, and I let it sit there for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes depending on the thickness of the chicken breast. The chicken breast that I had was pretty thin. I'm just going to pull it out of the pan and put on a plate for it to cool. You can reuse this poaching liquid. I would discard the thyme and the parsley, but you can keep the liquid. It is very flavorful. You can freeze it and use it again in the future. Now that my chicken is cool, it's time to prepare our chicken salad. I have out my mayonnaise, my Dijon mustard, my red wine vinegar, and salt and pepper. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shred my chicken. And you should be able to just pull pieces apart from the chicken. If you don't want to serve it this way, you can actually dice it. Either way is acceptable. I just decided that I was going to do something a little bit different, so this is the way I chose to prepare it. I just suggest that you wait until it cools so that it's easy to handle, and also you want to make sure that all of the juices are settled and that they don't come out when you cut into the chicken. I'm done shredding my chicken. I put it to the side and I took out a large mixing bowl, and I'm going to make my dressing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my mayonnaise. I'm going to take about 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, put it into my bowl. To that, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of red wine vinegar, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to also add salt and pepper, about 1 teaspoon of salt and about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to add all of my aromatics. I'm going to add in my celery, my onion, my scallions, as well as my thyme and my minced parsley. I'm going to combine them together with my mayonnaise. Dressing, I'm going to add my cranberries, and then I'm going to taste for seasoning before I add my chicken in. Just want to make sure that it's well balanced. I'm going to add my poached chicken to the bowl, combine it well, taste one more time, and wrap it, put it in the refrigerator, and chill it before serving. These bound salads or mixed salads taste better when you let them sit overnight so all of their flavors can come together. This salad is great served in a sandwich or on top of a mixed green salad. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell for notifications for when we post new videos.